OBS disconnected. Did I... Am I live? I had a short loading. Stream timer reset too. No! It's gonna break up the VOD. How do I fix this for YouTube? Okay, fine. Cyber, what's up? Thank you for the 34 months. I appreciate it. How are you? I see you're pouting, so I guess I guess that's how you are right now. Damn it. No. How do I... Okay. I have no idea how to merge these into one video for YouTube. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. Technical difficulties. Let's move on. Why did that happen? Why? Internet seems stable. Cyber. That's cute. Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? It had nothing to do with it. The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. Time to become a fairy tuber, yeah! The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. It's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. That's because you... how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That, and one more thing. That locker happened to be mine. What do you mean? I mean what I said. I thought his locker would have been the one with the napkin sticking out. This is not good. Oh, no. I am mixing up with the one with the visible blood. With the one with the wiped out blood, right? We found his fingerprint on this one. So that's actually what we needed to know. He verified that the locker that got opened during the murder was actually his. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. Did we even tell him which locker we took the fingerprint from though? All that's in there now. All that's in there now though is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It would be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. The print had been wiped. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It's just how it happened. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward for me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Unrelated? They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other is a type of murder. He's right, although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. Right, that was Gumshoe's locker. How did I forget that already? However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So it would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. But his trail is in there. Now we need to point out the thing sticking out of his locker at the end. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Too bad it wasn't me in the video, right, partner? Do I press here or do I just present the video? Let's see what we get from the pressing, because it doesn't cost us anything. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera is panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so. Yes, we finally get to do this. I've been wanting to do this since yesterday. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Shows this incriminating... Damn it, I had to yawn while he was talking. I think this is the last one, right? There it is. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. We already used 2 words. You can clearly be seen in this video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, fine. The first 2 words didn't count. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. It would seem that they keep skipping stuff on their own. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. That's the finger gun. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to touch mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. I have something to prove it. Maybe I need to present this and I'm like, well, it needed to have the light on if anybody could open it, right? Could he be the 77's number? ID? Okay, I'm gonna try this one. But let's save because we already lost some HP. Oh, they're not letting me save. Never mind. A fingerprint sensor? He's nervous, look at that. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. Sorry, I had to hydrate. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? What the hell? I thought that was a tree branch, but he was biting it like some kind of rubbery object. I couldn't read what he said because they skipped on their own. Explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What is he biting on? I want to know. Please answer the question. What is he now? A bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. He was dressed up as Goodman. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Yeah, he's probably not the 77's number because he actually used Goodman's ID to get in. Right? No, wait, why was... I was thinking that same thing yesterday. Why was the ID in 2 different places? Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the murder? K is killer, right? And V is victim. Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there? That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. What? Now they're ganging up on me. I was wrong? Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was. Officer Meekins should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could have been... Wait! Killer is Meekins. Victim is... okay. Meekins is not the victim. He's the murderer. That's why I got it wrong. Here. Damn it. I feel bad for losing that HP. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's... And that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. 'Twas you dressed up like Detective Goodman. It is weird that they keep referring to the person in Goodman's shoes as the victim because he was not killed. Meekins was badly injured and knocked out. 'Twas you dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. I think there's a different way to enter without the ID. Like you punch in your number. And that would make it so that Marshall can punch in Goodman's ID. And then it would be found at a different location, right? But no, we also have this issue of the ID being reported stolen, which wasn't done. So maybe it is actually needed. So how is the ID in two different places? He would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can say I particularly care for your uncooperative... I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. This is the second time he complains about his beard. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. This can't be happening. Uh-oh. I need somebody by my side. Somebody carry me. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Okay, I guess Edgeworth to the rescue again? It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this particular piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at that security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why. They didn't let me read that. Sus. How convenient that the mascot is just covering his face. Don't see anything. The cloth wasn't in the SL9 evidence either, so it's not like he's taken it away from there. Don't see it. Oh my god, I think we're gonna be listening to this music for the next 2 hours. The very beginning? Here? Did something change about the mascot? I wonder. Me too. The right side. Yeah, the light is already on. And that's how he was able to open it. But the locker we're looking at it is very first one in here. Like right next to the target dummy thing. At the end of the video, there's a cloth sticking out of it. So I'm like, do we need to have seen the cloth somewhere else? Nothing changed with the mascot. Damn it. uh, Yeah, I don't see it at all. You know what's weird? The bloody print on Gumshoe's locker, which is right behind the mascot. We didn't see anybody coming in this direction. And, you know, having the handprint there. And if he was trying to avoid the camera, he would be coming in front of the mascot and like, what's the word? Ducking in front of it. So it makes no sense that the bloody print was behind. Unless... The other thing is, why is there, you know, there is this one, the bloodied print had no fingerprints. So it's like he took off his glove or something before opening his own locker, and at the same time, I don't know, nothing makes sense in this case. I don't get it. There's not really much happening outside the fight and the falling glove. Yeah. And I tried to look at these things too, but nothing's changing about them. Or this poster. Or, you know, the junk all around. You know what? Screw it, we're just gonna present this. What do you have to say to that? Alright, partner. You really want to know the reason I had to open my locker? Why? So I could stuff you in there. Huh? I'm sure the world would be a better place with you sent off to the boneyard. Unfortunately, unsolved cases can't be stored in the evidence room. Now I'm unsolved case. Something went wrong in that evidence room. Give me a hint, Phoenix. That's why Marshall had to open his locker. The unexpected event itself is the reason. Am I supposed to point at the blood on his shoulder? According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. Maybe the cloth is the coat itself. Maybe the cloth is from him cleaning himself. Maybe that too. He definitely should not be leaving with the blood on the coat. Okay, it has to be the coat. It's not here yet. Okay. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room. Though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So you had the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today. A bloody white coat in it. We all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did, all of it. All right. It seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I sold the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident is not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Because one of the victims was somebody related to him, I think. That day was my last chance. That's why stole the detective's ID and dressed like him, I plan to take out the evidence. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I would be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera? And the detective's ID card? I saw that the morning of the incident. So he really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. So he did that, probably while investigating Goodman's murder. So now we understand why it was in two different places. The ID card I found there was left by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprint. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. Was that a coincidence? That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. But he was only there once. And it wasn't really him, it was Marshall. Doesn't make sense. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You pulled a knife on an Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is one in a million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. So you did your research beforehand. Oh, I'm sleepy. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I don't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? Or else, he was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth? Where is that evidence? What? We found multiple pieces of evidence there. It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Guzman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. Can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why do you have this suspicion? Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. Okay, I'm gonna save because I'm very low on HP. But I think I need to present what Lena gave me last time. Where are they? Because it has somebody with the Marshall last name in here as a victim. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award as you. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. He was investigating that case and then he became a victim. What? This is definitely an inside job. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then deputy chief of police. Okay, that's the fourth person in that picture, I guess. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. So why is he not happy with the outcome? At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's got to be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lena Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy has got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murderer took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lena Skye. And the testimony of one of Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word. A single word? That would be objection. Not arg. What are you, a pirate? I rest my case. Seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lena guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Yes, Emma! Your Honor. Wait. She came back. The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Okay, that's generous. I was kind of in a shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Skiles sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Maybe that's her sister. Maybe she came in first. That's why the locker was open. Maybe she intentionally left the glove in there for some reason. And maybe that's her handprint. Maybe she's the 77's number. But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I would be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So, did you find something? No. Never mind. Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. Is that all? Please don't be mad, I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lena, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time is up now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lena will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If I've ever needed to concentrate, it's now. What would be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. I am so clueless. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Something that when drawn would completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Maybe it's the mascot's time to shine. Because it was covering that locker, so we have no idea if it was already there or if it happened later. And it's not on the floor plan, and it should be. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all the evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing on the floor plan? What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans at the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not there. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. Oh, it was even too close to it to have somebody touch it. So he's saying the handprint was there for sure before the incident happened. What? So that means... just exactly what does that mean? It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think through it scientifically. Emma. On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought in the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? So there is a window of roughly 24 minutes, I think 24 minutes, where something could have happened. No, that makes no sense. Is it possible that Meekins brought in the mascot and didn't notice the blood? Gumshoe was not involved in that investigation, so nobody needed to open his locker for anything. But I mean, Meekins couldn't even see the face of his attacker. Maybe he did not see the bloody handprint. After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in. Just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time... So that would be Lena. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman. Okay, I was not thinking of that at all. So he was actually killed there. How did they move his body? Damn it. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be fake. Where's the autopsy report? 4 to 5:30. There's plenty of time to transfer his body. She was probably wearing this coat to be disguised as Goodman as well. I don't know. It's not the same coat for sure. It doesn't have the things on the shoulders. And she was wearing gloves. This has to be her handprint. But that just proves her as the murderer at a different location. Unless she found the body and she put it in Edgeworth's car for some reason and she pretended to kill him for some reason. Damn it, this case is so... spinning my head. Somebody was in there at 4:20. That's still within his time of death, and still gives enough time to go transport his body to the prosecutor's office. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. I would go with 4:20 for the time. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? What shows when the first time, where the first crime took place? I believe it's this. But let's save. No, it's not letting me save. Fine, let's just go with this. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been acquired. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room. Wait, That also could be Miles himself that committed the murder. Oh my god. And it makes more sense for him to be the murderer because the body was in his car. Damn it. Now I need to defend both of them again. Throwing Edgeworth under the bus again. I we don't even know who the other person is, okay? And both of them, like Lena and Edgeworth, both of them have evidence going against them that they could have been the murderer, right? Also, what's up, Flanny? How are you? Let's see here. 4:50. If the crime took place before that, then it would be 4:40. Oh, what about 4:20? Why nobody is looking at the 4:20? Edgeworth is gonna go crazy right now. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? Oh my god, no. It is a comfy bus underside. He feels right at home. I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure it out. To figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. 4:40. No, there is enough time for him to get there. At 5:14, it's just 30 minutes. He arrived at 5:12, I think. Still plenty of time, yeah. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That's true. It's not even on the camera footage. Well, the camera doesn't capture the floor, but it's not even illustrated in this memory. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. So the only other person is the 7/7s who could have done it, right? That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the room. Let's look at the chart again. But the weird thing is, I was about to say Goodman didn't enter at all, right? But maybe they went in there together, so that 7/7s used their ID card and they went in there together. So they were transferring the evidence together. But then Goodman got killed and the evidence was stolen right there. But why did we still have the vase and the glove on the floor? Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777. Did I say it the right amount of time? Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is... did he say it enough times? That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present, because he was taken off the charge. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Oh, it has nothing to do with that, okay. Is it Gant? Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. How does he know that is a higher up? But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. An official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lena? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? They got her on the stand. Okay. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lena? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lena, even if it involved forging evidence, but why was it pinned on Edgeworth? Just because he was in charge? See, that's what I'm talking about. No. Damn it. Poor Edgeworth, he was doing his best. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Wow, they forced the trial to end with their noise. Edgeworth says that like he didn't withhold stuff before. Yeah. But I think what she admitted is not just withholding evidence, they actually forged evidence. Yes, let's save. How much time do I have? Damn it. Let's go a little bit into the investigation, but I might not finish the investigation today. February 24, 3:12 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Speaking of not finishing, this will be my last stream for a while, probably. Ooh, are you going somewhere, Flanny? Wait, are you going to prison, Flanny? What's with that prison emote? What's going on? Hope you're okay. They caught Flan. Temporary move out due to construction work. How long is the construction work? I wonder. Speaking of construction, I recently heard about 3D printed houses, and it's just I am becoming a bit obsessed about it. A month long, okay. So they're doing construction where you live, and then you're gonna come back to a better a place, I guess. I think that's good. But what will you do without the internet for a month? Better, quotes. Truly, quote, better. I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, we're gonna miss you for a while, Fluffy. Kinda sucks that it has to happen. I don't trust this professionally built house I'm in, and people want to 3D print them. It sounds so cool. It can be done very quickly. It seems to be able to withstand harsh weather conditions, and it can be completely recycled from my understanding. So yeah, and cost is cheaper. And the houses look look like something out of a video game. I'll watch movies, play with Blender, use tablet, play games, etc. I can manage without internet for like at least half a year. Okay, sounds fair. At least you have some fun stuff to do. Without electricity, in terms of entertainment, at least I can last without for a month at least. Wow. Here we cannot even cook without electricity because our gas range is actually not gas. It's electricity, which is it's weird. But I guess, you know, there's some portable stuff that we could rely on if that ever happens. Yes, you did specify entertainment. Come on, cooking is entertainment. Let me think. What would I do for entertainment if I had no electricity? Probably go to the beach or the park and walk around. Maybe bring my iPad. No, not my iPad. Maybe bring a sketchbook, a physical sketchbook, and draw something with pencil. Does not like to cook. I do like to cook. Cooking can be entertaining, I suppose. Yeah. forgot the time. Uh-oh. Is it time for your stream? Are you about to skedaddle? You already flew off. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Lena wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. To use her sister? What do you mean what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. My attorney recommended not specifying whether or not a stream is happening. Okay. Read the file, right? I skimmed through it. They don't allow me to actually read the whole thing. They just give me names. That's it. They don't give me any details. You see like a whole stack of documents there, and Phoenix cannot be bothered to read anything other than, you know, the basic information. Good luck, Jay. Have a good one. Thank you. I'll see you around. Meteor. Take care. You too, Flan. Good luck with the house and lack of essentials. I hope you have a nice place to stay while they're doing the construction. I don't know how this works. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with these killings, Emma? On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. That's why he got killed. Even though, like, his brother was saying he would never lose in a fight. I would rant about the details, but stream hijacks sweats and A. Stream hijacks sweat and B. Self-docs adjacent. Okay. You don't have to tell us. So that means you... Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. And then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out suddenly. A bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. Permanent picture? Let's not go for the third one because last time we did that we missed some talking points. After the incident, I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. Always do stuff in sequence, yeah. That must be why she made up the crime. What? Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lena forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he might not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lena was never the same. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Permanent picture. What did you see in that instant that the crime occurred? What's with that onion haircut? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lena was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I would become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crimes with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lena would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lena's office at the time, right? Biological clock, probably. That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there is no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away half through the interview and fled into my sister's office. How do you run away from questioning? Aren't there doors? Aren't there locks? Aren't there cuffs? But why did you run all the way over to your sister's office? Why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices and the questioning rooms are right across from the elevator. Questioning does not equal arrest. True. But this is a very high-profile murder case, a serial killer. I think they should have taken some more precautions if they were like questioning him as a suspect. questioning room... No, detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lena was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lena was a detective. Oh, it does say she's an investigator there. But I was like, okay, maybe prosecutors are considered investigators. But I guess I'm wrong. She was the best in the entire force. That's news to me. How did she make the leap from an investigator to chief prosecutor in 2 years? After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lena used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her. Should I present something to her? Seems everything is somehow related to this incident. What was it labeled again? The SL9 incident? Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed in here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or did not, or didn't, Lena do? I'm not sure I want to know everything. This screwdriver was at Edgeworth's office, wasn't it? Yes, he said it didn't have anything to do with the crime. Then what are we doing carrying it around? Hey, don't ask me, I'm not the one making the decisions around here. If I recall, Edgeworth said Chief Gant asked him to take this to the prosecutor's office. February 24 Detention Center Visitors Room. Lena? Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lena, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lena, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the SL9 was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. A right to know, Mr. Wrong. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lena. I believed that no matter what happened, you would always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lena, what the witness, Miss Starr, said. About the stabbing of Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lena, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lena look so phased before. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant, he was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? That explains why she forged evidence then. I guess they were very quick because of that, huh? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. What kind of help? Was he helping in the forging of evidence? After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. That seems rigged. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. The Dark investigation. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Since she aspired to be like Gant. Yeah. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Star. I cannot read this. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Star. Okay, she's just listing the detectives, right? It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho? What does that mean? If that represents your best, no wonder they have to resort to forging evidence, yeah. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. First one at the scene, Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages and Dark must have suddenly panicked. Why wasn't Gant the one running after him? Like, that's the job of the police to run after the suspect. Why was it the prosecutor running? So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Gant and myself. That's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lena? She was also a detective, I was talking about Marshall, the prosecutor, Neil Marshall, because he ran after him and got killed. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. This crime scene doesn't make sense. Because in Emma's memory, like he was stabbing him from the front, from like he was up, and Marshall was on the floor on his knees. But he ended up getting stabbed in the back and piled on some other body, and she says there were 3 bodies? So I guess this is where the forging of evidence happened. Right here. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out. And the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark has incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right, quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall, yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself, the chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. I want to check with her all the SL9 evidence. Starting with the files she gave me. Okay, she's not gonna talk to me. Attorneys and prosecutors have no business showing evidence outside court. It's taboo, especially when the interests of both parties are involved. She really means it. I guess she's not gonna answer any questions about any evidence I have, right? She is very unhelpful. How about this one? Okay, fine, we will leave. Let's go here. Maybe we can get into his office. February 24. She's about to arrest you. Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kinda quiet around here today. You're right, the chief of detectives seems the same though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right, we can come back here later. I guess I needed to go to... Fine, let's investigate. That man must be the chief of detectives. He's staring at the screen so hard it might shatter. What? That case may have been fabricated. That's what I thought all along. I just never bothered to tell anyone. Now there's a guy who cares about his work. So this is the police mascot, is it? The Blue Badger, the future star of the police force. The design is a little changed from the one outside. Ah, well, the dancing Blue Badger TM is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely, it's cutting-edge stuff, very now. I showed this doll here to my daughter and she burst into tears. I don't think they were tears of joy. Don't show her the moving mock-up outside, then you'll give her nightmares. I like the Blue Badger. He's mumbling something to himself. That's it. The villain used a time machine. Very clever indeed. That would explain the alibi. The future might not be so far after all. He is not writing a report, he is writing a novel. Show Jay the moving mock-up. She already has nightmares from the music. Oh my god. You missed it. We were stuck with the video for a while. And they were torturing us with the music. They did not remove the music during that. Oh, this is the same desks. Okay. Let's see. I don't know why we would go back to the... Oh. I guess this just wasn't one of the options to go to unless we go to the police department or whatever we were... the Department of Criminal Affairs. Okay. So maybe if we enter here, they will give us the option to go to the office. Howdy, Bambina. They let him go? Mr. Marshall? I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, Sarah. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? The cactus. Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either, all the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean the switchblade with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim is sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with the forged evidence? Why would they need to change the murder weapon to this broken switchblade? If that case left behind scars on all of us, the scars that the SL9 incident left behind. Prosecutor Marshall, I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the king of prosecutors. I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right, it was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. So Goodman must have been in on the forging of evidence. That's why they never touched him, I guess. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would have suspicions. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lena Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lena Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lena transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lena's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. The boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you. When you become a real scientific investigator. Damn. Adios, Bambina. They have to give him some leniency, especially if we can uncover what really happened. I cannot go to his office. Why? Let's see if, what's her name? Angel is in here. February 24, Prosecutor's Office, underground parking lot. No one's here today. Not even Miss Star. What? Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. I can from the criminal affairs? I did not see the option. Okay, I will go back. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Because I had to talk to Marshall first? Okay. I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lena look more guilty. Hang in there, Lena. I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Okay. Okay, how do I go back to the criminal affairs? Oh. They're announcing my arrival here again, so maybe something new is happening. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everybody's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do. About Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. I think it's chaos too. And Christmas and Thanksgiving. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. He has no objections. You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. No, you messed it up. Aw, man. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. He just verbally told us we cannot go. He's not gonna stop us. So, let's go. What the... Is he a Dracula? Or what kind of creature uses these things? This instrument, I forgot. February 24, Police Department Chief's Office. Priests? Okay, priests are Draculas, I guess. I mean the ones with all of these long tubings connected to them. Where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Yeah, they tend to be in churches, so... okay. I don't know. Maybe I am thinking of something else. I don't know where I've seen them, but I think I've seen them somewhere other than churches. Check out the pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? It's always like some evil maniac playing on that pipe organ. From the things that I'm remembering. Castlevania? I don't know if I watched Castlevania enough to have encountered that. Oh my god, I'm so sleepy. I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss I I know this is some famous musician, but I don't know how to say the name. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me. I couldn't read that. They tried teaching her what? I never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two. Teaching her notes, okay. Chief Gant, uh-oh. He put that paper he was reading on his desk. So, Rido, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lena's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's the jar from the evidence. That's a picture of Lena and Neil and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Edgeworth Trophy doesn't have a sword. A broken sword. Okay. Something is not right with this picture. Is he talking about the trophy? Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Photo at the award ceremony of Gant, Lena, and Neil. Why is the knight is in front of Lena and has his weapons like out in front of her? Anyway, I would like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. No. I need to look around. Oh. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that the case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Oh. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe is still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? He always has Edgeworth on his mind 24/7. No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That's falsified evidence 2 years ago. That falsified evidence. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Edgeworth crisis. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lena Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. You know what's going on in my mind, don't you, Fun? There's been a lot of rumors going around about Jay as well. What kind of rumors? You have to elaborate now. Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work. Why did we have to have a Dick right after that redeem and that comment? Yes, sir. Alright, his name is Dick, I forgot. Okay, let's go out for lunch again sometime, my treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. Lem, what's up? How are you? Rumors? Yes, there's been some rumors. I think Gumshoe is, double dating. I mean, he's interested in Edgeworth, and now he's going out to lunch with some other police person. Seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Okay, he's just trying to look out for Edgeworth by going out to lunch with the enemy. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. The SL9 incident. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? I think it was Lem? What are we talking about? Me? Seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. It was flan. What are you guys accusing each other of? It was Lem. Maybe you should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Should I show him the murder weapon before I talk about that? We know this is fake weapon, right? Let's see if they updated something about the file. Maybe not yet. Maybe after he talks to us about it. It was Jay. It will be Jay. What are we talking about? Oh, damn it. About this. Hey, is that... It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. We showed him this before. Why would we have a different reaction? I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? You know what I think? Oh my god, we have so much evidence. Okay. I think the murder weapon was actually the sword on the trophy. They're really bad at taking a picture. Why is she standing behind that tonight? But yeah, I think he came in. The first weapon that he could see was that sword on the trophy. But why would they switch that with the switchblade, the broken switchblade? Unless it was confirmed it was his or something. Not the screwdriver? The screwdriver was a different case that they never elaborated on. But I can try to show him this. Maybe he knows something. Ever since that case was closed, that now has been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And it was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. But Lena hid it there, right? Or somebody hid it there. Whoever stole the evidence hid it there. For some reason. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about that sword from the trophy. That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Okay, I guess we'll have another option to talk about, right? Murder weapon, okay. Dark's crime. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident. They're going fast. No. Hold on. I couldn't read all of that important information. We're gonna replay this and try to read faster. A jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjuncture. I didn't click forward. It was going forward on its own, unless the controller is haunted, which I think it is, because it's been acting weird. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily, Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness? AKA Emma. Let's read this one again. 42 at the time of the crime, he was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. Okay. One day on his way home from the work, he hit someone with his car. What? Am I getting this right? He killed somebody by accident with his car, and then he started killing all the witnesses around and turned himself in, and despite all of that there was no evidence? Like, how do you kill so many people and have no evidence and then you turn yourself in? Oh, this case is so confusing. Brain no work. What does conjecture mean? There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. Weird. The murder weapon. This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? When they said serial killer, I was like, okay, he, stalks a victim, kills it, hides the evidence, stalks another victim a while later. But this all happened at the same time. And there was no evidence. That's right. We trace it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at that knife, you'll see it's broken. You don't have to take a good look at that. Take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. So it really was the murder weapon. Maybe this is the planted evidence. I don't know. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knives? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. The broken tip was found in the victim's body, belonged to murderer Joe Dark. Well, there you have it, in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. He's still going on about that $50. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. Okay. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? But we already have this guest ID card. Simply put, I would be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. Oh, okay, let's go steal some ID. What, did we get rid of our guest ID? So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into the office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. Maybe this. Ah, okay. No. Let's try this. We were gonna try it anyway, so maybe this is the thing that... No. That's the ID card record, isn't it? Yes, there's only one number left to investigate at 4:20 p.m. The victim, Detective Goodman, must have entered the evidence room along with someone else. Someone with an executive officer number. 7777777. That's 17 too many, Detective. An executive officer, I just might have a hunch. He's not cooperating. This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the blood stain on that evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. It would have saved us a lot of trouble if he hadn't guarded it so well. I have to admit he's right though. Thanks to the Blue Badger, we were able to prove another possibility today. The possibility that another murder took place prior to 5:15 p.m. Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Congratulations. I was wondering, why is the award a shield? And why is it broken? Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Okay, so this didn't change. I've been signing up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. To think people are accusing him of injustice, I for one ain't buying it, pal. You're looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth? Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know? After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lena was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Joe Dark guilty. I can't believe Officer Marshall would do something like that. You know Officer Marshall? Of course I do. He was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus. Really? He said, Dick, she'll listen to all your troubles. Okay. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus. Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Right once Gumshoe demoted. About that jar, I think I've seen it before somewhere. Somewhere. Maybe it was one of those memories people have from previous lives. Maybe if I show him the picture after this interaction, he would realize it's in the office, right? This must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met. Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me. Chief Gant? Where could I have seen that before? Could have seen it here. Look at it, bro. What do I need to show him? No locker can be opened without a fingerprint match. Besides, there is no reason for the murderer to touch his own locker. Wasn't your locker the one with the blood on it, Detective? The handprint of the real murderer's gloved hand, without any fingerprints. If they come to arrest me, you'll defend me, won't you? If that happens, I think you'll do better pleading with Edgeworth. What do I need to show him? Shit. Damn it. Okay. Oh, a lost item report, huh? Very impressive, Detective. You knew what it was right off the bat. Well, I am a master of misplacement, you know. Master? That has such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There's a higher power at work here. Wow, a higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. Damn it. What do I need to show him? Hey, that powder is used for detecting fingerprints. Why did I almost say footprints? Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us. He did what? All I have is some flour. Are you okay, Detective? Quick, run. Uh-oh. Is he allergic to it? If it's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? What? We already went through this one, right? Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too. Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Add 3 inches to your base height. Base height? Hey, let me see that. Looming tall. He bought the wrong item. New and improved growth formula. You mean this can't detect any blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same thing as Luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. And that's the photo that Miss Star took. Anything you can tell us about it? That Miss Star is quite the lady. Why, I remember it was winter. I was 16. She was the only one who ever got me to talk about what happened. Okay. This isn't new either. I think we've seen this one too. Yeah, we showed him all the evidence. Maybe we can talk to Edgeworth. February 24, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. It looks like he's writing something. Oh my god! What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper onto the floor. Ooh, we better examine it. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. First of all, we're gonna ignore you for a moment. And steal your trash right in front of your eyes. I wonder what he was writing before. Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him, I'll check it out. Ah, hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. He's not gonna fall for that. Hold on, first let me see what this girl's doing crawling under my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Damn it. Uh-oh, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything. I just took it as evidence? Okay. Can we inspect it? Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor. He really wrote a resignation letter. Wow, even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault. Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world. We never found out what was written on the flyer that Gumshoe gave him. Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits. Well, not everyone sees it that way. To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay. What? That's one tough grown-up world there. Can I turn it? Nothing on the back. Right? I can zoom in? I did not know I can zoom in and out. In that case, let's take a look at this. Damn it. Why? Why is the Y not inverted? Okay, nothing. What was I expecting? Did anything else change? Maybe something changed about their interaction if we look at this now after we got the picture. He won such a prestigious award, why would he just leave it on the couch? Yeah, you'd think he would want to show this thing off more than giant steel samurai. What is it? This is the King of Prosecutors award, right? Of course it is, you know that. I saw something today that looked like this somewhere. We did get a new interaction, okay. Something that looked like that? Yeah, only different. Now, where was it? She's right, something is amiss here. Maybe I should show Edgeworth that item. Let's show it before we even talk to him, right? Let's see. This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. Why did he give it to us? Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Or did we take a picture of it? He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? That trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. And there's a story behind this design. A story? Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. Okay. It did add something. Okay, let's start talking to him. And hopefully we don't end up on some cliffhanger because I should be ending stream, I think. Forged evidence. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do, nothing I do can erase that. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Tomorrow's trial. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First, last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. Mr. Edward, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture, something seemed strange about it. The day of the crime. Can you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? The screwdriver, right? Yeah. Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, right? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. King of Prosecutors Trophy. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it for Emma's sake? Very well. Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day he presented the king with 2 items. The first one was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. He's objecting to the story. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive, but then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus, the Chinese word for contradiction was born. That's a cool story. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today. That's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. This is getting more suspicious. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Why? King of Prosecutors trophy updated on the court record. 2 years ago, the halberd was removed at Gant's behest, giving it its current form. It must have been evidence. It must have been part of the cover-up. Should I present him anything else? This isn't related to the case, remember? You said so yourself. So I did. Chief Gant gave this to you that day, didn't he? He asked you to bring it here from the police department. The chief is a very competent man, but sometimes he does things that don't make any sense. At least it's better than being incompetent and doing things that don't make sense. A certain detective comes to mind. Okay, that didn't trigger something to talk to him about, I think. Oh wait, they actually said something. Let's skip through it and start over. It seems everything in this case is designed to cast doubt on me. Hey, don't look at me. Yes, I went into the evidence room on the day of the crime. Chief Gant asked me to do something. To take evidence from a case solved 6 months ago back to the prosecutor's office. I have a locker in there as well. Did you notice anything amiss when you were in the evidence room? Why didn't he notice the blood stain on Gumshoe's locker? He was in there before the blue badger was blocking it. That room is always dark and I was in a hurry, okay. So that's why everybody is blind in there. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. Okay. Maybe I should just end here. Wouldn't hurt if you put this up somewhere on, like on a shelf. That has no meaning for me anymore. What do you mean anymore? That's who I was last year. What good is it to dwell on the past? He's asking me. Why can't he just accept it graciously? Actually, something's been troubling me about this shield. Look, do you notice anything different? Different? Yeah, don't you remember the other shield on the court record? I guess I'd better present this other shield. She's talking about the picture, right? Which we already did. Would he tell us anything about the resignation letter? They say where there's smoke, there's fire. Apparently I was so caught up in the smoke I lost sight of the truth. Edgeworth? The others are right. I have no right to serve as a prosecutor. But Mr. Edgeworth, you were only doing your job. I've always made my own decisions about what I can do or cannot do. That hasn't changed. Forgiving myself is something I cannot do. Uh-oh, I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation, I wonder if I can use it for anything? What could I possibly use it for? Maybe I couldn't show it to Gumshoe or something, but Gumshoe already left, right? There's somebody here. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Star, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't be all attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness. The instant Lena stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred towards Lena. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll never forget. I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. On the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Who? Lena Skye? My sister? The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Lena and Chief Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret. But you don't have proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties, most without even as much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. Lena always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lena Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Legendary duo, Damon Gant and Lena Skye. Gant led the investigation, with Lena second in command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. Attract or plant. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him though. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lena. All the detectives wanted to be like her. Why did they look up to her? Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall? When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Being used. Lena transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right, having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lena was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lena? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr. You listen to me, Rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been. I wonder if she just happens to know the ID card of Gant. No, nothing else? Okay. No. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna respond to anything. I wanna see if Gumshoe is back. He's back! Oh, you're back. You're back too. You're still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. What happened to his lunch? Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Okay. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer is still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene in the SL9 incident. I have to take a look in there. There's got to be something we can do to make the detectives change his mind. You're gonna lose Edgeworth. Look at this. He's resigning. What's this crumbled up piece of paper? No, his heart is breaking in real time. No way, Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they've pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. Detective? That's it. I've made up my mind. Yes! But here, take my ID card. You can't do that. If someone found out, he'll just pretend he lost it again. They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. Damn it, I love Gumshoe. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. Police Department ID card allows access to area of the PD open to detectives. Damn it. I don't know if end the stream here or go to the office. Maybe it's quick. Good thing we already made lunch last night, so we just need to heat it up. But what if it takes more than an hour or so? Just one more investigation, chat. Just one more. Damn it. Let's just take a quick peek. If they keep sending us elsewhere, I will end the stream, I promise. February 24, Police Department Chief's Office. Here goes Mr. Wright. We're in. If anyone finds us now, Detective Gumshoe is a goner. He's here with us. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek. Why did he give us the ID if he's coming here anyway? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. She slapped him. Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your card? Gumshoe's ID crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. No. Why? Hey, don't do that to my card. That was our only way in. If we ever need to come in here again, we cannot. Hardly ever get a chance to come in here. So I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this is where the picture was taken, or more precisely in this corner, right where this knight is. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. The chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room? What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it, I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful of what you say. Who knows, the chief may be hiding in the armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out. Cut it out, you guys don't know how scary that guy can be. You can see pretty far from 15 stories up. If you were to drop that suit... What? At first the chief wanted to use a stained glass for this window. Really? Why didn't he? They say he changed his mind because he wouldn't be able to see the view. Oh. Stained glass or not, it's a huge window. Wow, look at the size of the Chief Gant desk. Why did I say staff? Speaking of that, when we were here earlier, Chief Gant, he put that paper he was reading in his desk. I wonder, what was he reading? This looks like a list of evidence. That's the short list of evidence that Edgeworth was talking about, I guess. A list of evidence? In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case number. Huh? SL9 incident. I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said I wonder what... No, about the evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long. That's right, I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-sized list of evidence. The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? This is the other half of it. Okay, so that's all the hidden evidence, right? I knew it, the chief must be hiding something about that case. It would appear so. Can we read it? List of evidence in the SL9 incident was ripped in half. So this part is all I've got. Cannot read it. Why? What? This must be the picture she drew. I wonder what this is. It looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here. That's it. Did you find something? What is it? Did you find something? I can't make it out. I'd better keep quiet about it for now. No, show her the evidence. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing. Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright? I'd better not forget about this picture. Why didn't he show it to her? Why can't we read the list? Mr. Edgeworth had the other half of the list. What would this list be doing here? We'd better look a little more into this list. Maybe we can show it to Edgeworth, I guess. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe? That word is ripe with intrigue. Oh, okay. If you say so. It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. 7-digit number. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? It's... okay. I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Wait, bro. Okay. That is very insecure for a password, isn't it? Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on that record. What? The number of the mysterious executive or executive officer who entered the room that day. You mean 777 blah blah blah, that ID number? I think you're 17 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? purse. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's the last piece. A shard from a broken cup. This somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? There's something else in there too. What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. Okay, I guess we need to spray that thing with the powder, right? This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, it was just a thought. Is that it? This is all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are those two items related to the SL9 incident? Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. How do I do that? Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when the three of us put that back together. Those were the days. It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case? That's right, one of the shards on the SL9 incident sticker on it. Doesn't this ring a bell, you know, that fragment we just found? You mean this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. It was in the safe. Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Wright, there's some glue. If I can piece this together again, I'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. Oh, I need to flip it. How do I flip it? There, it fits like a charm. That of course means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident. But hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached is different from the others. There's a reddish line on it. A reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? I don't get it. They all had some pieces of blood on them, right? Oh, it's not assembled yet in here. We need to finish this conversation. Evidence from the SL9 incident. Final fragment found in Chief Gant's safe. Blood traces. I mean, these dots were already there. Hey, look here. It's hard to make out, but there's a dark red stain here. Looks like blood. This piece the chief has is different though. The blood stains on the other pieces are just spots. But this one is a line. Oh, that's what they meant, okay. That is odd. The chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the criminal affairs department. And that's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th floor of an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls them to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul. After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ear. That's torture, bruh. So it's an instrument of punishment, literally. But aren't the chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyway. That's besides the point. This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark went out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here, then went along with Chief Gant to question Drake. I bet he never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? This was Lena's desk. It sure is tidy. Lena's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone is still keeping it clean. Does Lena ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? These shelves are mostly empty. Lena must have cleaned them out when she transferred to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left shelf. Hey, that is when Lena and I went to that theme park. Why didn't she take the picture with her? Look at that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. What? This is the 15th floor? I know, I was just saying... Saying what? Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window. When he gets fired. Don't say that. Okay. Is that everything? Okay, let's talk to Gumshoe. The chief's office. That desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lena. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir, this is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to keep it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So, ever since Lena left, no one ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Every morning? Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes? I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... No. You wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. Sorry, this guy is starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do you think of him? Chief Gant. So it's finally come to this. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Why didn't I answer? Okay, I think I will actually save the game here. And end the stream, is getting late. And we'll figure out if there is more to do before the trial. It's probably just a few. Are you sure? Am I almost done? Do you know if I'm almost done, Flani, or... Yeah, I think I'm sure. No more investigations. So yeah. Damn it! I was hoping to end on, you know, the usual time so I can take a quick nap before lunch. But now there's not even enough time for a nap before lunch. Another half an hour to an hour. Oh god. Okay, yeah. I should have stopped much earlier. So yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate you all. I'll be back tomorrow with something. I don't know. It's gonna be some stream. Maybe a collab with Soren, maybe not. We haven't really sat down and talked about that yet. But yeah, and then ukulele on Thursday. You're not finished in this room yet and still have another room to go. Yeah, I think I haven't showed him anything to get him to talk more, or... But yeah, I think I really should be stopping here. So thanks everybody. I will see you around. Have a good rest of your week and bye bye. Love you all.